So BattleBox is starting out the new year right with BattleBox Mission 107. Let's open it up and see what's inside. All right, folks, welcome back. So I wanted to show you this new BattleBox. This is the first of the year. This is Mission 107. There's some really awesome gear inside of here. And I want to explain to you quickly, if you're new to the channel and you haven't seen BattleBoxes before, what they are. Basically, they're a tiered subscription box. Comes in different levels. So you have the basic, the advanced, the pro, and the pro plus. So whatever you spend per month is what you get. Now, another thing too, I want folks to remember, if you don't have your basic preps, okay? If you're just getting started out in preparedness and you don't have water, you don't have food, maybe you don't have enough of it, self-defense tools, whatever, this is not something for you. This is something more for down the road. If you got a little bit extra money to spend, you want some cool gear every month, you want to try out some of the newest, coolest stuff, this is great. But I encourage people to get their basic preps first before going out on a limb with any subscription box. I love BattleBox. They have a great value for what they have, and I love their gear. But I always tell people, get your basic preps first before you do this. Now, my link will be down below with my personal portal where you can get some deals here. I also have a 15% off subscription product coupon down there. That's Iridium 24. That's down below. You can check all that out. But let's get into the first thing, which is the basic box. Okay, this is the basic level you're going to start out at and what comes inside of the basic box. So these are the 4 basic box items you're going to be getting, going to be starting out with. Now, we're going to start out with something that I definitely like, okay? I have a lot of keys on my key ring. It's just part of how I end up with keys. They end up being too many. They end up being a pain in the neck to get on or off when I have to change one. So this is something to me that's like really, really cool. And this is the Free Key Slim System here, okay? This is the X-Attack Free Key Slim System. The cool part about this is you'll notice how this is designed. That is not a design flaw. That's not bent. It keeps the keys on there, but when you want to take one off, you just squeeze, or when you want to put one on. So for those of you who have multiple keys and you have the annoying part of trying to get your thumbnail under there and pull it open, that's no longer necessary. You can slide it right off that easily. We're going to take one of these off and show you here. Just going to open it up and just spin it around. And just like that, this piece will come right off. And these are individual parts for, say, a car key or key fob or whatever, if you have to give it to a valet or whatever. Any kind of keys you have to take off regularly, you can use these little individual pieces for. But man, that just makes it so much easier. Now, if this was a new key I was putting on here, instead of taking my thumb and trying to get under there with my nail, I just open it up and slide it on. That simple. So if you have keys that you're constantly moving around on your key ring, this is pretty darn amazing. This is made of stainless steel. This is designed in Sweden, but manufactured in the USA. And it is definitely a great item for those challenging times where you have to pull keys on and off your ring. Very, very easy and very secure too. I already have one of these on my key ring. It is my key ring now. And boy, what a difference. The last few weeks I've had it on there. Very, very easy to use. Okay, let's move on to the next item, and that is nose slap. Now, I've shown you this stuff before. This is kind of a alternative energy wake-up stick. Very, very strong smelling. I suppose you can almost use it as smelling salts in a way, but this is more for energy, okay? This will give you a refreshing blast of peppermint energy, peppermint vapor. Kind of gets you in the mood to be active and engaged. Use this essential oil to intense the refreshing burst of fragrance. Prepares you to take on whatever life throws your way. All right, and definitely these are really, really strong and really nice smelling. I'm going to cut open this top here, and we're going to show you what it's all about. All right, so we got this open, and wow, I can smell that already in there. Whew, that is strong. Definitely a nice strong smell to it. It'll definitely wake you up. Very, very cool item. I think for a medical situation, I want to use smelling salt, but definitely gives you a little bit of energy there, a little bit of quick kind of smell to it. Definitely wakes you up, and I love the smell, that nice kind of pine smell to it. Yeah, definitely good stuff. So you can kind of slap your way out of a sluggish mood if you're feeling kind of crummy. You can kind of open this up, take a quick little smell of it. I smell it on my hands now. It's peppermint essential oil, okay, water, polysorbate at 20, sodium carbonate, ammonium chloride, and magnesium stearate. So basically that's what's inside of it. It's a very, I love the smell of it now. I'm kind of addicted to the smell of it. Very, very strong smelling, very kind of a refreshing smell. So definitely will wake you up. Okay, next up, let me move these out of the way because this is kind of cool here. If you know me, you know I love uber leading stuff. Okay, they always have kind of cool, innovative outdoor bushcraft type gear, and this is no different. This is the Uberleden Tindar Teepee 3-pack. Okay, let's open it up and take a look at what's inside here. Now you're going to get 3 of these, okay? And these are kind of just little teepees that you're going to be putting together using the pieces up top here into a little fire teepee. Now these are made of wood, okay? And you're going to put three pieces together, I'm sorry, and the little piece in the middle, put them all together, and they burn for a nice long time, and they give you the ability to start a fire very, very easily. You just put this down at the base of your fire with that piece in the middle connecting everything. And some people will say, well, what's the point? I can just throw some cotton balls and Vaseline down there, and it's just as fast and everything. It's more about being in the outdoors, having fun, you know, enjoying yourself. And this is kind of a neat way to do that. These are created from Baltic birch, okay? So it is an environmentally friendly kind of thing. It's good to know that you're using a product that's effective and sustainable. They do have that little dangler in the middle, and that's what all these pieces up here are for. I'll pull them out. You have to separate them and all. But that little dangler in the middle that will sit in the middle of the teepee, and you can light it, and it will burn up from there. They do burn very, very well. Very nice, nice little put together system. And that's what I love about Uberleden. They just come out with all this kind of unusual, kind of unique stuff that you can use in the outdoors. And we're going to be trying one of these out pretty soon, I guess, when we have to start a fire. Actually, another product in here I will be doing a separate review on, and probably that will be what I use for tinder. All right, next up, the final item in the basic box, and that is the Wicked Wax 2-ounce tin. This is a preservation wax. It's used for protection for your entire knife. This is 100% food safe, organic, and vegan. It's made from all natural products. Can be used on wood, steel, epoxy, leather, plastic. Basically what it'll do is revitalize and seal up and shine your wood finishes. Its primary use is to make metal rust resistant. So all of you with carbon steel knives, this is the thing right there. Let's try it on a knife. Now it is very cold out here, but so it probably won't melt well. Let's put a little on here. You notice I'm going downward on that knife. And this, I believe, is D2 steel. But it has a nice little protective coat on there. And it's chilly out here. But yeah, you can use it on your G10 scales, anything. There you go, on my Carta, anything. It'll work perfectly. So definitely gives you a nice little good coat on there, but it doesn't feel slimy or slippery, which I really like. You can kind of see where my fingers touch there, and if you want to kind of finish that off, you can. It gives you a nice little protective coat, protects everything equally, and you can kind of rub that in there and condition your steel or your metal and your knives, and make sure that you are all protected from rust and whatever else. Now the beeswax that's in this will make it sure that it's not slippery, and that's the cool part. You don't want to put something on your knife that's going to make it harder to handle, especially if you've got smoother scales on it or something. So this doesn't feel like it's slippery at all. Just feels like it's got a nice little layer of protective wax coat on it. So there you go. That is the Wicked Wax. Let's move on to the next item, which is going to be the Advanced Box, and that's a very, very unique item that I want to show you when we come back. Now, the next item up is kind of an unusual item, and I got to say, you know, being newish to the knife world, it was something I hadn't heard of up until a few years ago, and that is the Dead Fish Ulu. Now, the best thing about Dead Fish is their presentation. They really do a nice presentation. Ulu is basically a traditional cutting tool. It originated with the indigenous people of Alaska, and that's where I actually saw this first used. If you guys watch any of those Alaska shows, you will notice there is a family on one of them that is a traditional Alaskan family that was raised there, and they use these ulus for cutting up fish and everything, and they seem to be very efficient. But look at the presentation of that box. That just looks beautiful in there. So the handle of the ulu knife is made from a premium Italian olive oil wood, not olive oil. My mind isn't working today. There we go. And you see what it's like. It's kind of it's almost like you'd think a pizza cutter, but it's more for rocking back and forth and cutting things up or scraping stuff. It's a really, really handy knife. Comes razor sharp out of the box. And just take a look at that knife. This is something I'm probably going to be keeping around. I could use this for dicing vegetables. You know, if I have to dice onions or something, makes it a whole lot easier to do that way. So I'll give you a little more info on the knife itself, okay? The blade of the Ulu is constructed of German 1.416 stainless steel. That's known for its exceptional sharpness and corrosion resistance and durability. The full tang design definitely ensures this blade will extend through the entire handle, gives you optimal strength. It's not going to snap on you while you're rolling it around, and it's definitely a nice looking knife. It's not just a tool, but it's kind of a work of art that pays, you know, homage to the cultural heritage of the indigenous people of Alaska. It's really the knife that I've seen that particular family, I forget what show it is, it's one of those Alaska shows, use almost exclusively when they've been out fishing or collecting game or whatever, and they will use this to chop up or process their game or meat. And the fact that you can just rock this thing back and forth is really handy too. So that is the Ulu from Dead Fish, and Dead Fish always does an awesome job with their gear. So that's that right there. Look at this. The sheath for it is just gorgeous, and it is leather. A little bit on the stiff side. That's good because it's new. Okay, so that is the Ulu. Next up, we're going to move to the Pro Box. Okay, and the Pro Box has something that I wanted to try for a while because I've tried the cheaper versions of it, and now we're going to take a look at the more expensive versions. That's coming up in the Pro Box. So in the Pro Box is what I was telling you about, the Solo Stove, the Titan. Okay, I have seen a ton of these kind of wood gasifier type stoves. You know, you've seen them for 14, 15 bucks on Amazon, the Chinese cheap ones. Always wanted to try a better American-made one to see how well these things actually work. So the deal with these are a super efficient burn. You're going to get an incredibly good efficient burn with this. You get that awesome airflow from the bottom to the top, and we'll take it out so I can show it to you. Don't want to just talk about it. You get that awesome airflow, and you will get the wood gasification through the little top holes on the stove itself, and you will get that awesome burn time on it. Let's pull it out here so you can take a look at it. And a nice little protective coat cover. And there it is. Now, it doesn't break down like some of those that we've seen in the past, but it does have this lid here. And if you look inside here, you have that grate. So all of your burned wood and charcoal and ash will go to the bottom here, and you can still keep adding wood to it. This is your top here, where you'll put your pot, and you can feed it through there. So very, very cool. Let's get the box out of the way. I'll give you a little more information on it. Now, what this does is it draws its inspiration from smokeless fire pits, okay? This is the double-walled superior airflow stove. You got that flow that comes in through here and out through those holes. I don't know if you can see them up top there. Pull that off. These holes here. So you'll get that secondary burn, and it's almost like jet fuel coming out of the sides here because wood gas is flammable. So you're getting a secondary burn, you're getting a very efficient secondary burn, and basically all you're going to have left when you're done with this thing is ash at the bottom. Very, very cool. Now, they do make a huge one. You've probably seen the commercials for it on TV. That's a fire pit that you can actually sit around. This is the exact same thing. This is made from 304 stainless steel, built to last, solid, one-piece design, so it's got durability for years to come. It does break down to something a little bit smaller, but it still would be kind of bulky in your pack. But if you were to put, say, other stuff that you want to put in here, like your cooking utensils, gear, whatever, spices, whatever, could fit in there pretty good, and really, really cool. As far as a quiet, non-detectable cooking system, one of the nice things about this is these are primarily pretty much smokeless, depending on a lot of factors. If you're using decent wood, if you're using dry wood, these things are super smokeless. They will just start up a fire, and no one will be able to tell that you got a fire going. Of course, you'll be cooking food on it, so they'll probably smell the food. But it definitely is really, really cool. Now, the diameter on this is 5.1 inches. The height 7.9 inches. The weight on it is 16.5 ounces. It is made of that 304 stainless steel, like we said. And this really goes well with any kind of outdoor cooking experience you want to have. Even car camping, stuff like that. If you want an extra stove in there, if you're afraid your gas stove's going to run out, you got something like this. Decent sized pot area, so you can put a decent sized pan there. I don't think you'd probably maybe be able to fit the little smaller cups on it, but anything else would fit on there pretty darn well. So definitely a cool item. All right, let's move on to the last item. The last item is really cool, and it's basically the start of a collaboration with BATTLBOX and this particular individual. I think you guys are going to really like it. Now, this is the last item in the BATTLBOX for Pro Plus Box, okay? This is the Doug Marketa Serbian cleaver, okay? The Grande Fratello? Gosh, I hope I said that right. The concept behind this thing was to have a large cleaver that could be used for outdoor tasks as well as cooking, and it can be multifunctional as a blade for self-defense as well. Now, if you guys have ever watched that knife show, you know Doug is a master of blades and defensive and offensive manners. So you have something here that he personally designed as effective as not only a defensive tool, but also an everyday use camp knife. Let's take a look at this thing because it is really nice. Okay, there we go. There we are. Okay, very nice looking knife. Kind of looks like one of those forged in fire type projects they would have them making. And this thing is a beast. I mean, this thing is heavy. So you could use this, and it is nice and sharp, perfect edge on there. You could use this, of course, as a a regular camp knife. You could even baton wood with this thing. You see how thick it is. Nice big full tang knife. But it also would be useful in a defensive situation where you had to use this as a last line of defense. Not a big fan of using knives in defensive situations, but when you have to, and it's all you got, you want something decent and it's going to hold up and work well. So a little bit about the knife here. Okay, these knives are numbered, so no one else is going to get the same number you have. They're serialized. I think that's pretty cool in and of itself, but the fact that it's designed by Doug himself is really cool. And I assume that... I believe the story was that they ran into each other, Kern 1776 and Doug, at a show, and he spoke to him about possibly doing some more knives for BattleBox. So you probably will see more of his knives in BattleBox. And the one most important thing about this knife is...
it will kill.
You know I had to add that in there. Anyway, folks, that's the whole thing. That's the Pro Plus right there. That's the whole thing you're going to be getting this month. I think these are really good high-value items, especially if you're into knives and outdoor gear and stuff. A lot of this stuff has a practical application for preppers and survival. If you don't have a knife, if you don't have a big, bulky kind of camp type knife, this thing is awesome. I mean, this is really cool. If you want to use that ulu for preparing food, you have an option there. You got a tinder. You got something to protect all your knives with. The key ring is just a regular everyday thing that's great for avoiding annoyances. And of course, the solo stove alone is a pretty darn cool stove. All right, that's the whole thing from BattleBox Mission 107. The links will be down below if you want to check out BattleBox's site. My personal portal site on there is that link. And of course, I have my discount code there so you can save money if you want to save some money starting out on subscription products from BattleBox. So don't forget to check it out. I thank you guys for watching today and checking this stuff out. I know these videos can run a little long. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I want you guys to don't forget to check out all the links down below. We have on Monday, just a little heads up, if you haven't subscribed and you're looking to stock up on some food, now's the time to subscribe on the channel and stock up. Because on Monday, I have a freeze-dried wholesaler pre-sale for something that's really amazing. And the last time we ran this pre-sale, we ran this item, it sold out quick, all right? This is something that's very, very popular, so do check them out. If you're interested in checking out their food on Freeze-Dried Wholesalers, my link will save you 15%. So all you got to do is click that link, go shop as you normally would. When you get to the cart at the end, you will notice it says my 15% discount, Iridium 242 15% discount. Below that, our Amazon affiliate store. Don't forget to check that out, folks. Even if there's nothing in that store you think you want, just use that link to shop every time you use Amazon. Really helps out the channel, doesn't cost you a penny. Below that, of course, is our My Patriot Supply link. That's preparewithiridium.com. Got an awesome deal on food. And folks, you've seen the situation in the world. As of last night, we have another world war starting, So you've seen the situation in the world. Now is the time to get stocked up on food before it's even an issue, okay? We have a 4-week kit going there, $60 off. Really good deal on a 4-week kit of food that's good for 25 years. So prepare with Iridium to check that out. And of course, don't forget our Thrive Life freeze-dried food store at the bottom there. I have a Thrive video coming up. I want you guys to check out my monthly haul this month. I thank you guys for watching. Stay safe and stay prepared.